It will be done. At your beck and call. Ah! Pain and duty go hand in hand.
What of... Was that you? Or... Will do.
Isn't this a job for now, you're clad in scarlet? I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Indeed.
Faith without deeds is worthless. This is unacceptable. I'll do it. Guided by faith! None can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I'm not interested. My place is at the fore. Victory is imminent.
Momentum.
I'll do it. Each strike is a prayer.
Stop mocking me.
One fewer target.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Isn't this a job for the serfs? not accustomed to being ordered around.
I will do my duty. At your beck and call.
That had better be ineptitude, not malice.
No can do. On it.
Whispers getting louder. Blessed are those who sacrifice for the Imperium.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
To the brink of agony.
Another color has faded.
What the hell have happened? I didn't go over my void.
Reduced to dust.
Watch out. Come on, you little monster. It's very needy today. Yes, you are. Don't deny it. Needy.
Anything else? Was that you? Or...
My ears are ringing.
If I may. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
It will be done. One fewer target. I took care of this one. Just a minor setback.
Rejoice in battle! Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
I've suffered worse. Indeed. Reduced to dust. It will be done. Victory is imminent. At your beck and call.
Come on. No. Take a vote.
Indeed. I will do my duty.
High momentum.
But of course.
Be gone!
I have read tomes of military tactics. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Victory is imminent.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. Doubt is for the weak.
At your beck and call. Indeed. At your beck and call. No matter the cost. Victory is imminent. It will be done. At your beck and call. I will do my duty. Careful now. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Will do.
My house would be proud of me.
The grease-stained edges of the poster detach ever so slightly. It appears that it was frequently removed and rehung.
I'll warn you if I hear anything.
These cages have been placed in plain view of the beds. Inside are traces of blood and excrement. Bare beds made from metal sheets swing back and forth on rusted chains. Whoever is forced to sleep on them, it would not take much for them to fall. The beds here are bolted to the floor. Some have thin, torn bed sheets and even tattered pillows. Prison Diary of Ataishan Part 2. Ha ha ha. I swear the Emperor hasn't forsaken me. Guess who just came down to shatter gangway among the fresh batch of prisoners? Cleansing, throne-damned Willa, former administratum clerk, no, D clerk, the very same scum who lost the writ about the missing payment. He's the reason I'm in this hole. Don't know what they threw him in for, but I've never felt better in my life. He's not just behind the same bars as me, he's a fresh meat, and I'm a venerable optimate, respected by everyone in the colony. The warden just came up with a new improvement. From now on, anyone who underperforms, misbehaves, or causes trouble any other way is to be punished by the community, specifically by the local best and brightest. Yours truly, the Optimates. At last, two swords who failed to meet the quota were stripped naked, whipped, and thrown into the cages into the big barracks. That's where they have to eat, sleep, and shit now with everyone watching. I thought to myself then, that isn't right. They've taken those punishments too far. But now, just you wait, you pickle of grut shit. I'll get you for something. These cages are calling your name.
Sometimes you consult.
Sometimes, I wonder to what extent our perception of the Empyrean differs.
Cannon and save the day.
Ooh, I'm glad that I never have to look at it. No offense, Cass, but I'll do just fine without an eyeball in the middle of my forehead.
The chopped up slabs of flesh have been thoroughly washed of any blood. Diary Part 3. I'm scared. I should know all the charity from the wardens have going to bring nothing but trouble. No noble, no matter how balmy, would pull anything of the sort, but that's man. It started with the little things. The warden would come by to talk, as he did. Expect he used to ask us questions before, and now he was mostly gushing sermons. Some gibberish about path of purgation, the sanctity of sacrifice, seeing with blinded eyes. I listened and nodded. Yes, Master Warden, of course, Master Warden. He could say whatever rubbish he wanted, as long as the 20 Optimate meals kept coming. I thought everyone else was going to the same, nodding just to please him, just to please the big man. I was drunk. After that, people in the barracks started yapping all about purgitation and blindness too. Apparently, us Optimates were no longer just the Warden's favorites. We were Emperor's, forgive me, prophets of some kind, who were meant to save the rest of the sorry lot, or awaken them, or make them see some rubbish along this line. People were now supposed to make sacrifices to Optimates. Yesterday, the sap who slept in the bed under me in the first year here cut off his own damned ear and crawled on his knees towards me. He handed me the ear and begged me not to forsake him when the fateful hour came. What in the throne am I supposed to do with an ear? Why is everyone, every single one, staring at me all the time? The warden said the time was night, that fate had truly great things in store for the Optimates. I went to look for how my good friend Clenson was doing. He hadn't spoken for 3 months, ever since I had all his top teeth ripped out. He spoke today. He looked straight at me and said, "Dead man." I kept hitting him until it hurt. Until he hurt me. Now my fist and feet are all bruised. Half the barrack stood there and watched and prayed. I'm scared. Judging by the number of horrid morsels, dozens of victims were slain here.
The sooner we start.
A corpse in a uniform decorates with the winter scale coat of arms. The dead guard did not even have time to draw a weapon. The attack must have come as a surprise.
I've never wondered so much before.
The burden of failure is the most terrible punishment.
Look no further. Your seneschal is always there for you.
How may I serve the dynasty? Did I mention that my whispers tell me jokes? Jokes that once said aloud make your eyes bleed and blood curdle. Talk about black comedy.
I better myself through my service.
My brethren, dawn is nigh, the Optimates will guide you to a new existence. Oh, how I've longed for this, my dear brethren. Thank the throne, normal looking faces. We thought we were going to die here with these nutters. The old man with a gap-toothed smile drops his weapon and holds out his hands in plating gesture. Please don't shoot us, your nobleness. Speak. Let us speak a word. Well, this is welcome change, talking before shooting. Still, Lord Captain, the looks of this ragtag bunch hardly inspire trust. Give me a reason not to execute you on the spot. Here's the deal. We are honest, quiet inmates. We didn't want to riot, but, well, sitting it out wasn't really an option either. The warden's lapdog made short work of those who refused to join in festivities, so we had to, you know, play along. But that's all it was, play. We never meant to offend to Governor Medinech, nor to the lawful authority of House Winterscale. Give us a chance, eh? We just want to wait until everything blows over and we can go back to our cells and quietly do the rest of our time. A repentant, honest heretic. How novel. Judging by Abelard's Stone, the Seneschal is utterly unimpressed by the old man's ingrating monologue. The lawborn speech is mottled with colours that conceal his true, darker hues. This old man has a long history of lies, and he's using his wheelies on us as well, but I see no foul corruption or ill intent in his words. Okay, tell me more about the riot. Bah! Why soil your tongue talking about the heretic? But if you insist, here's how it is. The warden of this here prison, the Honourable Master Casteglia, was a crockpot from the start. The previous warden ran things the proper way. Prayer, 1 meal a day, work, a punch in the choppers from the guards, work again. But the new one, do you know what his first decree was? He introduced lunches and dinners. By the 9 devils, that's 3 meals a day. The man was obviously start raving mad. Things only went downhill from there. The guards quitted with the teeth punching. The warden forbade them. Instead, the overseer started counting which prisoner were digging up more things in the quarry or swinging the pickaxes harder and whatnot. And then, would you believe it, they put together a list of best workers. And if someone on that list also showed good behavior, that's when they got promoted to Optimate. That's the upper crust among the jailbirds. Oh, that's how it was at first. Then the warden decided it's the Optimates, not the guards, who should be in charge of punishments. And that's it. That wasn't the overseer's job to watch the prisoners work. It was the Optimates. Well, let me tell you, that's when these goofy two-shoes really started to shine. The guards aren't even in the same league as our dear fellows Optimates. In the old days, we had maybe 5 or 10 skifts kicking in a week, and now we are lucky if there wasn't only 50. And that wasn't even the end of it. Warden Casteglia moved out of his chambers to live right in a quarry under the dome. And I think something in his new home really scrambled his brain. He began spouting the wildest thing, like the Optimates are saints who will behold the truth, and he started taking them to the quarry. Not all of them returned. The ones who did, you would recognize them, more beasts than man. They were butchering people left and right, even guards and overseers. The warden himself had armed them. And that's the whole sub story, but I knew it from the moment he let us have dinners. Oh, this won't end well. Hydra nods knowingly. The old Kodger, right? Whenever nobles start giving handouts to commoners, something always goes wrong. He notices your look at Scratches herself. I mean, that with all due respect, your lordship, no offense intended. I came across a void ship in a system belonging to your associates. It told me some interesting things about you and your planned escape. The man grunts, huffs and makes up his mind. Well, now they're out of the bag. Our fellows were supposed to come get us a long time ago, but they got tied up somewhere. Void Kraken gullet with them, and in all that time we had to wait. This happens. Pardon me trying to pull the synth wool over you. It's just that we want nothing to do with this whole warden nonsense. So what now? Will you let us go? Idra cracks a neck. Sure, no problem. Today you tell us a little lie. Tomorrow you stick a torpedo in our sides from the ship of yours. If it doesn't fall apart the moment our helmsman sneezes, it's in his general direction. Consider your request denied, and now die. Nice. Clumps of dust, but no trace of weapon or gear. This storage has not been used in some time.
Duty prevails. This task should have been accomplished easily. I failed. Never doubt me.
So shall it be.
The Emperor favors me today.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
David suggests that his victim was killed by poison gas. The glass-making furnace was used to melt the exact sand into glass. Clever. The creation of the outside of the structure indicates some regularly occurring natural phenomena. Supposed to be poison gas emission. I told you, Evie, they are hiding so much from us. Arrogant mentors, holy brothers and sisters, what have they ever given us? Nothing but a pile of fibs and useless admonitions. The voice of the man standing with his back to you sounds almost soft. Heedless of everything but what is in front of before him, he leans over a prisoner dressed in expensive clothing. But Aurora, she's different. She spoke with me like no one had ever before. She revealed the truth to me. And now I can reveal it to you. If you just stop struggling for 1 minute. What? The man finally realizes he's not alone and turns to you. He's clutching a long thin metallic rod with blood dripping off it. We have guests! From the Von Valencia ship, I would wager. Evie, my dear, you will have to wait. Do not faint, I beg of you. It's important that you feel everything, including your other eye. As the warden is speaking, a strange sensation draws your attention towards the ground, specifically an open pit in the loose dirt. A single word spontaneously surfaces in your mind: cradle. The pit itself does not appear to be the much of interest, but at some point it houses something of great importance, something faintly familiar to you. Such dreadful shades, Cassia recoils and covers his mouth. The colors of this place that are putrescent to the core, and these people, their colors are oozing with madness and despair, pain and doom. How do you know who I am? Lies have many faces, but there is only one truth, and it has been laid before me. I knew the enemy of the truth would come here sooner rather than later. You know, we had this guy once. He was a quiet one. One day he walked into a middle deck bar, threw one back, and then pulled out a gun and started shooting. People left and right without saying a word. Then he shoved the barrel in his mouth and blew his brain out. Our warden here has exactly the same look in his eyes right now. Who is that on the table? My sincerest apologies, we are many manners. Please allow me to introduce Yvain Winterscale, the younger son of Caligos Winterscale in the flesh. You know, he was so close to witnessing the truth right before you interrupted our little chat. How dare you, contemptible little peasant. For every drop of noble blood you spill, you will pay 100-fold more. Cassia turns to you for support with an expression that is in equal parts indignant and frightened. Abelard shakes his head somberly. That poor fool. I knew nothing good would come of his naive attempt to negotiate with heretics. However, Yvain appears to still be alive. If we make haste, we might yet save him. Having a scion of House Winterscale in your debt would certainly prove beneficial. What madness has you wrought in this prison? Do you truly want to know? He becomes more animated and runs a hand through his matted hair. You note it has been some time since he last trimmed his nails. This was my garden where I tried to grow the seedlings of a beautiful future. That was before I realized that there is no future, not in the sense of ordinary people understand. We are too attached to this life, to the limitations of our weak bodies, to the short-sightedness of our eyes that can scarcely see. It is all insignificant. The true future lies beyond real space, and the only way to reach it is through a cleansing sacrifice. Do you understand? Why did you mutilate these people? These are my optimates. Saints will guide my flock at the fated hour. Listen. He pauses and smiles. Can you hear? You can't. They are crying out, calling. It's just that their cries are not meant for our ears. The cast voices out there beyond the edges of the glass. into the transparent quiet. There they are heard. There their call is answered. Rock Trader, every moment spent talking to this heretic could be a moment spent destroying him and committing this place to purifying flame. Isn't it what the time we got started? The pits, there's something special about it, is there not? An item of value was buried here. Now tell me, Warden, what was the item? And who took it from here? The one that gazes, bores into you, then the smiles with corners of his lips. You are too late, enemy of the truth. This bastion has already fulfilled its great purpose. You will never find the trail of the reclaimed relic that now rests in the hands of the devout. Who is Aurora? Oh, so you've managed to barge in here and interfere with the prophetess design without even knowing who she is. But it's too late now. You will never attain sight, so all you can is accept your fate. He suddenly struck the predatory beast. I do not like it when people take the prophetess Aurora's name in vain and desire your death, enemy of the truth. The warden raises his hand, and maintain people start thrashing about in a death throat. The time for words has passed. Optimates, give your powers to the sovereignty of Aurora. Let our foes see the truth or become washed in blood.
Showing up uninvited? How improper.
At your beck and call. It will be done.
Anything else? Will do. Was that you? Or...
Emperor, deliver us!
Guided by faith. I'll do it. Strike is a prayer.
Emperor, give me strength. Isn't this a job? Try to die with grace, at least. Do not dare ask. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
At your beck and call. I will do my duty. One fewer target.
On it. Anything else?
Rejoice in battle! Faith without deeds is worthless. I will not. That is not the Emperor's will. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If only that were possible. If I may?
Just a minor setback. Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. I'd rather not. Victory is imminent. It will be done.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! honor.
I don't know what to do. That is foolishness. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I feel cold. But of course.
Someone just hit the ground.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Indeed. It will be done.
High momentum.
I am a navigator. As duty demands.
Die! Die! Die!
Another color has faded.
I will do my duty.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
It will be done.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. My final lesson.
Injury is not an excuse to shirk one's duty. Victory is imminent. Indeed. At your beck and call. It will be done. Victory is imminent. I will do my duty. At your beck and call. Indeed. At your beck and call. It will be done. Victory is imminent. I will do my duty. It will be done. At your beck and call. It will be done. Indeed. At your beck and call. Victory is imminent. Someone else can do this. It will be done. I will do my duty. Brace yourself, Abelard. I'm not interested. Indeed. It will be done. Victory is imminent. At your beck and call. Indeed.
Abelard, he's ruling.
It will be done. At your beck and call. Pain and duty go hand in hand. It will be done. Victory is imminent. Just a minor setback. It will be done. At your beck and call. It will be done. I will do my duty. Victory is imminent. It will be done. I'd rather not. At your beck and call. I took care of this one.
I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Blood is bubbling on a young man's lips and his voice is barely audible, but even now it remains melodious and quiet. Quotes. Yvain Winterscale, of Cornus, greatly pleased to make your acquaintance. On the rare days that Lord Winterscale visits Iraq 5, the station was awash in the midst of warm hues. We were forbidden from meeting each other, but I was delighted still to see such rare colours in my home. Now, however, his colours are darkening, twisting from pain and bitterness. We must help, Lord Captain. We must save the clarity of his soul, for he whose presence makes the world's little brighter deserves no less. Lady Cassia, I presume, the sacred child of Hosorcilio. How disgraceful it is that on the day we finally meet, I, Yvain looks away in shame, I'll find myself not at my best. There is no disgrace in your predicament, Lord Winterscale. The Lord Captain and I met under similarly dreadful and tragic circumstances. What have they done to you? Oh no. Conveys your strength. You are wounded and need help. Wounded? I would have phrased it altogether differently. Tortured and maimed, perhaps. Have you ever had your eye burnt out? This was my first time. I cannot say I recommend the procedure. He's either trying to make light of the situation or growing delirious from the pain. What did he do to you exactly? The warden, my friend, I tried to convince him to stop the riot. Diplomacy failed. Speaking is a struggle, but he continues stubbornly. Faden hates diplomacy, which is why I had to try. I must take my leave now. I'll see to it that assistance is provided to you and that you are escorted from here. He nods, giving it to oblivion. skin crawls you as you approach this place, however does not appear to be anything of note. The mutilated man does not stay bound in his shackles. The plaque near his head reads, Most Holy Prophet and Optimate Atishan.
The future is never certain.
Your eyes is drawn to the shards of the enormous lens scattered around the broken device. At first you are uncertain as to what troubles you, but suddenly the realism hits you. The glass shimmers in a unique way, just the same way as the shard of the unknown broken object you found near Theodora von Valenci's desk. What's the matter, Captain? Why are you so interested in? Abelard trails off when he notices what you are looking at. He instantly makes the connection. By the Imperium Saint, it cannot be. Ibra bites lip. I see it too. Whatever this thing in her study was, it was made from the same material as this junk. What? What? Abelard is at a loss for words. He makes a moment to collect himself, and all at once they start pouring out in a hasty splatter. It's a mistake, slander meant to blemish the good name of the person who is now dead and cannot even defend herself. First, these minions of the arch enemy murdered Lord Captain Theodora, and now this cannot be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. Calm now, Abelard. Remember that she was like, did a smile betray her grief, but at the same time is strangely known. Brazen, assertive, it was like her entire life was a race against fate until fate caught up with her in the end. She would have gone head first into the black hole if she had thought it would put her even one step ahead of everyone else out in the expanse. If we could just find out what she was keeping in her desk and why she went to get it during the attack. Sister Argenta's beautiful face is full of grief. How bitter is to know that you were born from bad blood, but do not let this knowledge drag you into darkness. The sister's words ring with a genuine, sincere hope that you be blessed with a worthy fate. She does not appear to be shocked by the news of Theodora's possible heresy. Life must be so easy for you sanctimonious preachers. A dubious trinket and you no longer see a person, you see bad blood, an annoying hindrance. There is enough venom in Indra's voice to poison an entire regiment. Agenda recoils, but the next moment her dark eyes ignite with fury. How dare you admonish me? We are speaking of abetting the arch-enemy. A person who has tainted themselves thus can never justify their actions. Sure, they go through all the trouble of trying to make sense of anything when you just label them heretic and call it a day. Except, dear friend, I seems to remember that you didn't mind Theodora so much while you were aboard the ship. You didn't leave her side for even a moment. She rescued you, aided you, and your adoration wilted the moment you heard the accusation sully in her memory. You weren't surprised or upset. You just gave up on her and moved on. Argenta is right. The danger of heresy cannot be overstated. Lord Captain, I'm not excusing heresy, I just don't believe. I don't want to believe Theodora would be involved in it. That's all the good she did can be so easily crossed out with a single word.
Something ominous lurks ahead.
A nice little stroll.
Say no more.
The rebellion has been crushed. I have news of your lord. She anxiously pitches forward. Is Lord Winterscare alive? Is he alright? He's safe in one piece. I shall receive him as a guest on my ship. So ready the shuttle. There is visible relief on the pilot's face. Clicking her heels together, she cheerfully backs out. Consider it done, your lordship. Thank you for the good news. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days I received several messages from different decks complaining about anomalous behaviors in the ship, cogitators and servitors. The machine spirit are restless and rebellious, and no litany or ritual of pacification can rid them in the obstinacy. The tech priests can deal with the vessel system, but they servitors, they make errors in the task, disobey orders, change the assignment ritual, or something downright freeze in the trance. A click comes through the Vox channel following the very sign. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitators' calculations, or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about the ship being cursed or possessed. Idra joins the channel and chimes it plainly. Oh, don't start, old man. All these particular happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slam shut, a lumen starts flicking, folk have grown used to all that. So our resident ghost has decided to update the ant. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. These technomans inspected the servitors and concluded they pose no danger. According to the servants of the Omniashas, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated by our manifestation of the machine spirit will. Nevertheless, the faulty servitator makes the crew task considerably more difficult, and High Factum Janis Darnok would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective property. He is awaiting your audience on the bridge.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Victus informed me about a problem with the servitors. What's happening? You see, your lordship, the ship servitors have been malfunctioning of late. The Void protocols interrupted their task, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning of purpose. Janik Darnog nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight. Had it been a routine technical fault, I would have decided the fate of these servitors myself, but I deemed it necessary to notify you. I do not wish to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain. If you wish to observe the servitors' usual behavior before you decide the fate, this can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one of the storage compartments pending a decision. Okay, let's have a look at these servitors before deciding the fate. As you wish, Lordship. Ooh, hello. When his lordship arrived at the scene, he found the servitors in the same position that they assumed after they had been corralled into the bay, all standing in a long, spiraling line and facing the center of this strange formation. The moment his lordship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, the bodies jerked into motion. All as one, as if obeying the command, the servitors turned to face the Lord Captain. The Technomans tasked with overseeing the defective units even reached for their weapons, but then the servitors went still, just as absurdly, starting at his lordship with the vacant eyes. All presented held their breath, disturbed by this sight. We waited for the Lord Captain to speak. His lordship, Nettis von Valencius, took several steps towards the servitors. Immediately the servitors, each and every one of them, stepped towards the Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked his movement with a frightening precision. The rogue trader halted in place and after a moment's thought waved his hand, and the servitors just as synchronously repeated that gesture as well. When the Lord Captain turned quizzically to the Technomats, so did the servitors, all if mocking him. Whatever the Lord Captain did, but it's an incline of the head, a wave of a hand, or a step to the side, the defective unit repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by unseen puppeteers. We observed this mime unfolding in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute, until the servitors finally came to stop. Not sensing any threat from them, the rogue trader approached with confidence. The Lord Captain examined the servitors. As factotum, it was I who had promoted the entire inspection, and thus I was my duty to follow the Lord Captain. As we stepped closer, we noticed a fascinating irregularity. The servitors' pupils, normally still, were shaking wildly. Their bulging veins were pulsating under their copper collar, inscribed with their past offense. It was as if those mindless half-machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaken technomat behind us proposed that the human soul had awakened within the servitors' bodies after a long slumber deep within their lobotomized brain. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the technomant added that the servitors used to function properly and that no one had been able to explain the change in their behavior. His gaze still trained on the motionless but animate half machines and half people. The Lord Captain stepped away from the servitors. All present held their breath, disturbed by the sight. We waited for the Lord Captain to speak. Demand a report on the defective unit status from the Technomats. The Technomats' long-winded and detailed report could have been summarized in a single key point. Despite the servitors' abnormal behavior, they were still quite capable of carrying out tasks, and therefore the circumstances did not call for their termination. Ordered that one of the servitors be disassembled and its component investigated. A group of Technomats hurried to act upon the Lord Captain's command. The servitor mechanical parts separated with clicks, snaps and hisses. The sutures between its wrinkled pale flesh and its augments were laid distinguishably bare. We watched the Technomats do their work and could see every centimeter of the servitor's stiff muscle abounding with valves and cavities pierced by countless cords and tubes. The disassembly and analysis complete, the Technomats concurred. The unit was in working order. Nothing in the dissected body that lay before us could provide any insight into the reason behind the defects. I should make note of one more thing. At the moment, all of us present discovered that not just the eyes, but the hands and the heads of some of the servitors were now shaking too. It was as if the mechanized servants were overcome with some primordial terror. Examine them again. Oh, that's the same. Okay, let's make a decision. His lordship looked at me unwavering resolve, and it was that confidence that wrecked me out of nightmarish stupor that had me tensely observing the scene unfolding before me. The Lord Captain ordered to send the servitors back to toil as they had toiled before, for they had not yet paid the dues for the crimes of their past lives and thus did not deserve clemency. On the Lord's Captain orders, the servitors were returned to the same decks where they had been working before. The crew was initially unnerved by the presence, but adapted to the quirks soon enough, especially since following the incident in question, there was a noticeable reduction in the servitors' strange behavior. With the fate of the defective servitor decided, nothing could now distract the Lord Captain from his mission. As the ship makes its way through the star system, a strange fatigue falls over you. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the quill you have been using to draw up yet another order falls from your hand. You raise your hand with a start. Someone else is here in your study. You stand up and stare at a dozen upon dozen of corpses surrounding you. Among their number, you recognize the disfigured and bloodied faces of those who died on the ship bridge and those who met in your previous life. How is this possible? Where are the enforcers posted to stand guard? It matters not. You are alone against a horde of heretics risen from the darkness to take your life. As if of his own accord, the shard lying on the edge of the desk, the sole remnant of Kunrad Vigdvir weapon, slipped into your hand. The metal is searing cold. The dead sway from side to side, closing in around you in a nightmarishly slow advance. Kneel before, rogue traitor, your lives belong to me. All you hear is response is untangible voices, whispers, moan, and dervish laughter. Anger ignites your chest, and you clutch the shard, which ravenously bites your palm with its sharp edge. An unbearably bright light floods everything around, and you find yourself surrounded by groveling minions, the body shivering in a mere presence. Your hand no longer holds the painful shard, but a majestic and intricate weapon, a skillfully crafted sword with strange unnerving proportion, a curved design, and an unusual hilt adorned with the image of the closed eye. The eye opens wide, revealing a gaze so ancient and dark that it steals your breath away. You have felt the gaze before, there on the bridge, and the voice that appears in your mind only confirms your guess. The tapestry is woven. The path is chosen. Accept your fate, champion. Throw the demon blade away. Never. Your body refuses to obey your mind. The handle feels as it became one with your hand, and the gaze of demonic eyes sets your very soul ablaze. Resisting your fate is futile. You scream as you feel your scum burn away to ash, as your soul burn away to ash. You awaken from the vision kneeling next to your desk, clutching clothes drenched in sweat and with a sour taste on your tongue. Your head is ringing and you struggle to recall those faces and the image of the sword in your hand. Only the deep cut on your palm and the bloody shard lying on the floor remind you of what just transpired. You would rather die than touch that thing again, so you reach a shaken hand for your vox and call for servitor. Now you can just have to wait for the mindless autonomon to arrive, pick up the cursed artifact, and head for the nearest airlock to be claimed by the void. Unfinished letter. His charging is relevant. Vogt via mistake cost me too much. Years of work, tremendous resources, all wasted. He has failed at what he was supposed to be irreproachable at, uncovering spies, and this one was a senior officer. I'm not about to discard him. Kunrad has served me for too long for his removal to go painlessly for the Protectorate. Besides, he's no fool. He could not have seriously expected to become the next in the von Valencius line, where his skills and talents as Master of Whispers are so valuable. Let this inheritance serves a humiliating but instructive lesson from which he may yet learn. Whoa! What do you want? With the cat something? The starports greet you with the dim of ordnance and the smell of explosive tickles your nostril. It is difficult to tell through the smoke who is firing at whom. Halt! Weapons on the ground, or I'm firing. A man in a torn and dirty uniform hobbles towards you from behind the chuckles of rock crate and crumpled plasteel. His cracked helmet is adorned with a crooked label that reads Sergeant Malgar. Alright, so our skies are in lockdown. The rebels are shooting down anything that flies, and you lot just happen to land in our rear without a scratch to show for it. And a shuttle like that, where did you get it? Stolen from the palace, isn't it? He's visibly awed by the resplendent gold of your transport. Grab him, lads. We've got ourselves a rebel landing force. Abelard turns purple. By the Holy Throne, why is this mess? Hydro glances around. They are in rough spot, old man. Go easy on them. Abelard, enlighten this rabble about the proper manner of greeting the God Emperor's chosen. Abelard clears his throat. You stand before rogue trader von Valentius, you ignorant worm. Snap to attention this instant, or give his lordship a formal report. With a mixture of awe and terror, he snaps to attention, raises his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier, and barks. My mistake, see at once. The spaceport is under the control of the Governor Wardens. Perimeter commander is Sigre. A fragrantic explosion cuts off the rest of the surgeon's words. Shrapnel flies everywhere with a piercing screech. One of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm that is now adorned with the crimson tatters. Blood is pouring out of the stump, and the soldier's agony is short-lived. The surgeon cursed and hastily says on a prayer for the dead. With a rasping cough, the surgeon turns back to you. Pardon me, sir. Surgeon Lassie Malga reporting. My unit is holding the starport on the governor's orders. How may I serve? Some dirty dog nearly shot down my shuttle. Affirmative, your lordship, sir. It's all those damn rebels. Those maggots somehow got their hands on the anti-craft battery and is causing our shuttles to end of trouble. That thing's really pack a punch. You are lucky they missed you. I've seen them try 2 shuttles carrying reinforcements, not a soul survive. What is going on here? Unrest, sir. Armed rebellion in both the capital and the provinces. First the lower levels sparked, then it went up in spires. They hit the Vox hubs, the arsenals, the Mac train station. Then Felek tore off his mask. Precisely because he knew about the trouble on Rykard Miners. He knew that none of our allies would come to our aid. Cassia lest out the sorrow side. You may continue your report, peasant. My unit was here when we all went to the Groxes. The tech priests linked to satellites reported sighting of the strange voice ship in the system. They were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Rika Majoris. The governor took precautionary measures in order to incinerate security at the key facilities. Everyone knows that whenever something's not right, you better double the warden details. The alarms was raised and we were sent to secure the starport. It's the only reason we were able to hold it. They are crushing us, the scumbags. It's been a whole turn since the last reinforcements came in. We are running low on ammo. Every other fighter is wounded. I don't know how bad it is on the streets, but they will drive out here any minute. Cat, you're hurting me. Who are you anyway? Sergeant Lassie Malgas, a 11th generation loyal soldier of House Winterscale, awarded 3 commendations for faultless service. Ever since the olden days, his lordship the rogue trader has recruited soldiers and shipwrights on Rykard Minor, so there is no great honor for Icanian that serving his lordship with diligence. What caused the rebellion? I thought, sir. We fell on hard times and group keeps shaking. Things keep exploding. The people are scared. They've forgotten about the duty, and that's when those Emperor Forgive Me preachers came. They started riling everyone up. Sure enough, we shot a few, but they just keep coming, and more of them. How can some pathetic rebellion be cause enough for such a lookless welcome ceremony in honor of rock trader arrival? It is an insult. Apologies, your lordship, sir. I could have known. I wasn't notified. Had we known we were expecting such an eminent visitor, we would have, had the double with all due devotion. Well, do you know if a member of Inquisition has come here? At the word Inquisition, the sergeant's face fills with awe. I don't know, see it. There definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. You must have to inquire at the headquarters, your lordship. Okay, I'm gonna go to see Governor. In my report, sir, as long as the rebels keep shooting their damn anti-aircraft battery, there is absolutely no way to shuttle to the governor. It would have to be on foot, and the streets are dangerous. I have no one to send with you as an escort. I'll assign all available troops to accommodate the esteemed tech priest to the governor. I will voxcast orders to them to wait for you, and I'll inform headquarters they better send out a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, you will follow the governor's orders and help the line here. Idira frowns as her gaze grows distant as she looks through the sergeant. You're a good soldier, but you've got a lot of blood on your hands, both yours and others. You know, the same hand that salutes now might falter in darkness. Rank and epaulets won't save you from the bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head around these fancy words you're saying. I've seen plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight till my last drop. Is the path ahead dangerous? What exactly awaits me there? The sergeant sighs heavily. All of our roadblocks are gone. The whole place is in the rebel hands. The city is almost lost, so no help will come. We are surrounded by rebels, and watch your steps here. The streets are chock full of mines. His remark about mines lodges itself in your memory. More than anything, you will need to watch the ground and not your surroundings. You'd rather risk a shot from a rebel or a GT soldier than experience endure a few handfuls of lethal frag shrapnel resting on top of some 300 grams of explosive Vaseline. What tech priest went? A very important person from the Adaptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked down the sky. He kept on asking wherever anyone by the name of Amarant or Amrnant or something like that had recently arrived. Barely answered any of our questions though, said he was under no obligation to tell us anything. He demanded to talk to the governor personally, so I had to send a quarter of my troops with him to keep trouble at bay. A good fighter would have long since reclaimed the starport. Move out and attack, you cowardly knave. The horror fills the sergeant's eyes. Apologies, your lordship, sir. We will rectify this at once. Follow my lead, you lot. I'm giving you 2 minutes to reload and patch yourself up. Then we are routing the rebel dregs. He rose his command, organizing his troops for what is undoubtedly a suicide offensive. Another explosion interrupts the sergeant wards. With a sign of relief, he turns to his soldiers and spits out a booming series of commands. Come on, need to go.
Onward.
If such is the Emperor's will.
The grand viaducts for receiving esteemed guests is burned under the rubble.
Marching on.
Your doom has been foretold.
Crush him!
Try to die with grace, at least. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Emperor, deliver us! You don't frighten me!
Was that you? Or...
Doubt is for the weak. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. I'll do it. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. As the Emperor commands, I act. I will endure.
I will do my duty. Victory is imminent.
Peace cleanses the body.
High momentum.
Guided by faith. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless. Each strike is a prayer. Doubt is for the weak. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. This is why I was chosen. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Eradicated.
Nice.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Emperor, give me strength. Me? If you instead... Isn't this a job for the serfs?
On it.
At your beck and call. That's not the Seneschal's job. Indeed. We'll rule the stars themselves. It will be done. Aesthetically sound approach. Reduced to dust.
I'll guide your vessel and lead you on your way.
Written on the side of the shuttle in the pilot's lowly slang are the words: "Do not touch a shipment of teeths of the blessed Lord's Captain Collins Winterscales. Perhaps there is something worth your attention in the shuttle."
I'm restless.
Whatever you wish.
False. Know about don't come closer and don't shoot you. Gain true vision, renounce my sight, all will be revealed. The young shaggy-haired soldier is still pale. Nonetheless, as you approach the holster his pistol The hallmark of good discipline. He gives you a somewhat frightened but genuine smile. Thank you, my lord. You arrive in the nick of time. I don't know what those bubbling creeps wanted with me, but it definitely wasn't anything good. Who are you? Lucky Jasper, the governor's aide and personal Vox operator. I was dispatched to the start spot of special orders. The young man proclaims, desperately trying to tame his tousled hair. Are you unharmed? All thanks to you, my lord. Those blind lunatics are all over the city right now. These rebels damn them to the void, go around maiming anyone they get their hands on and scorching their eyes. Then they leave the poor souls driven mad by the pain to wander the streets babbling nonsense. He lowers his voice and adds with gravity, the command doesn't want anyone to talk about it, but I have heard whispers that it's not just some nonsense, it's heresy, actual heresy. Because listening to it scrambles your brain. It made one patrolman freeze in his track while the blind mob got hold of him and carried him from his post off to who knows where. And what are you doing here on your own? Following Governor Mednick's special instruction, namely, he greets his teeth with a pointed expression furrowing his brow. Alright, it's a secret assignment, I can't talk about it. Mr. Salas, would you kindly read all his thoughts for me? Idra winks back at you slyly. As you wish, Lord Captain. We'll reveal all his secrets in a jiff. Thought I can't guarantee that his brain won't melt into mush in the process, but that's collateral, right? He pales, his eye darting between you and Idra. No need, my lord. I'd rather volunteer everything myself than let this one rummage around my head. She might break something, but I beg of you, don't tell anyone, or the governor would turn my brains to mush for sure. So why did they send you to Spaceport? I'm supposed to deliver an updated Vox codes, and how should I put it? Assess the situation. The planet is in a real mess at the moment, and the rebels have found their way into the VoxNet and are now eavesdropping. This made proper communication impossible. The hollow electrodynamic Cenobium had sent out a distress call before it went dark. And who even knows what's happening in the system? There's been a riot on Ricardiphilia, the prison planetoid. Newark 5 station is silent, although the navigators have always been a reclusive bunch. I was hoping I would be lucky enough to run into a pilot of the captain here who would give me an update, but it's not hardly a possibility right now. The rebels are blasting anything that tries to land out of the sky with a damned cannon. He stops talking a little too absurdly. Tell me about Uruk 5. There's not much anyone could tell you about it. The station belonged to the Navis Nobile themselves. Emperor knows what they do up there or who even lives there. They scorn ordinary folk. The only person they're willing to grace with a note is the esteemed Yvain Winterscale. It is beginning to sound like he is complaining. That place is creepy. They say they order shuttles with servants from Rykard miners on a regular basis. I guess they are too important up there to change filters and clean components themselves, eh? Except I've never met anyone who has served there. It's like no one ever comes back. Your brothers and sister lived and died for a great cause, serving a navigator's house, and therefore all of the Imperium. It is a high honor, and that few could bear. Only now does Jasper notice Cassia, and his eyes go wide with fear. He opens and closes his mouth a few times helplessly like a fish, unable to utter a sound. Instead, he just nods nervously. Who is Yvain Winterscale? Interesting. The esteemed and honorable scion of the blessed rock trader Caligos Winterscale, master of the Rykard system, at the behest of his illustrious father, or grandfather, or uncle, well, his illustrious relative, Lord Yvain, took up residence on Rykard Miners. Jasper's face betrayed his fears in a struggle before he blurs out. You know what I think? I think it's curious that blessed Caligos didn't make him the ruler of our world. Lord Yvain is his blood, but it's the governor who rules us. Then why do you think he sent him here? I think he's been exiled. Do you think the governor can handle the rebellion? Jasper murmurs evasively. Well, obviously I'm not sure. I'm not some pessimist say otherwise. I won't tell anyone. You really won't? Well then, if you ask me, things are pretty rotten. His words came flying at the rate of stab fire. Those rebels are strange. We would have easily quelled a normal riot. We've not some commoners. We are Icanians and naval elite of House Winterscale. But those people, they are vicious. They know no fear. And their attacks, they're so precise. It's like they know what's going to happen ahead of time. The command executed 7 officers on suspicion of espionage, but it's not about spying. They said the leader of the rebels is some two-faced Aurora who can see into the future. Now she's the real danger. Hydra scoffs and rubs her head together in excitement. She can see into the future, is that right? Well, we'll see about that. She's up against the wrong psyker. My breezy whispers may be vague, but they not fail me once. I can tell you without asking my eternal friends that her future doesn't look too bright now that the Lord Captain is involved. There is something else you're hiding from me, isn't there? More classified secrets. Jasper looks away. It's nothing classified, just personal. There's another reason why I'm here. My betrothed is missing. Reckwell Vekhari, the esteemed Yvain Winterscale personal pilot. When the riot reports came from Ricali Filia, Lord Yvain headed there personally. Then this rebellion started down here and we lost communication. No one knows what we're doing up there. You know what I'm afraid of? That they will come back and those rebel scumbag will shoot them out of the sky. I wanted to find a place that's high up, set up a vodcaster here and send them a transmission. The sky is closed off, don't try to land. But I didn't make in time. Those blind dogs chased after me, and as I'm running, I tripped and broke my caster. He hunks his head sadly. I worry for her. She's an excellent pilot, but I'm still worried. Abelard shakes his head disappointedly, but his eyes are understanding. That is while all members of the Voidship clan share the same employment. No matter how devoted a servant of the Empire is to their duty, there is always the danger that family ties might disturb regulations and order. Oh, Requel is alive. I met her on Riccardi Filia. Really? That's marvelous. May the Emperor protect you for the 1,000 years and 1,000 more for bringing me such a good news. He beams in elation. I'll name my firstborn after you, I swear. In fact, I'll name all of my children after you. I'm looking for the interrogator of the Inquisition, who may have arrived on this planet. Have you heard of anyone matching the description? Jasper's face quickly turns grey as he says it. I have, but I don't know where he is now. I'm sorry, but I don't like discussing the affairs of the Inquisition. You know, I think I'll punish you for disclosing classified information now. He falls to the ground with a cry. His once handsome face has been disfigured by a deep laceration. He's missing half an ear and his nose is crushed and twisted to one side. It is unlikely that Jasper can afford Sorbons capable of restoring his good looks. Your Lordship, mercy, I confide in you and only you. It won't happen again, I swear. You were right to punish me. I won't tell anyone anything I'm not supposed to ever again. Please spare my life. He's stabbing back in terror with taking his eye off you. The telltale branch you left on his face is crying blood, staining the Rakrit.
The sooner we start.
The light of terror shines for us.
The Emperor is with us!
I will take you down.
I'm not interested.
I will do my duty. One fewer target. Ugh, my ears are ringing.
I will endure.
There is movement in the Empyrean. What an unfortunate turn of fate. Anything else?
No! These ruby flashes are choking me! Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Field medicine at its finest.
Look at this one. Choose this.
At your beck and call. Victory is imminent.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered another foe painted black.
It will be done. I will do my reduced to dust.
Momentum.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
I'm not injured. I'm enraged. I don't know what to do. Stop it!
I've suffered worse.
Will do.
At your beck and call. It will be done.
Momentum.
I have read tomes of military tactics. Witness the fury of House Orcelio. Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
Victory is imminent.
Too much for me.
Was farewell.
I'm at your service. Let's patch you up.
Just in time.
Let me help.
House Orcelio
Join
thanks
me
you.
in prayer.
This
Carry
ocular
the
implant
Emperor's
was a
will as your
worthwhile
torch.
investment. What advice do you seek? Let's patch you up.
Blessed be the hand of the healer.
This wound will make a fine scar.
Ministration is a holy task.
How can one find the right way without his light?
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Judging by the caustic smell and oily stains, Promethium was previously stored here. It must have fallen into the hands of the heretics.
The world is full of colors I have never seen before.
The tournament was placed in a hurry, but the Technomat never had the chance to activate it.